This is the Coin 1 year overview reading for the year of 2024. It's currently December 12th, 2023, 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Coin at the time of this reading is currently $139.62. That's USD. And the shuffle video that we will play for you here in just a moment was created on September 24th, 2023 at 9:56 p.m. That's this video right here in the lower left corner. The overall theme of behavior for Coin in 2024 is a notable decline on a one-year chart scale to revisit a support level that we recently met once before. On the scale of like a theme, the revisiting of that support, it's either that we see the same support multiple times throughout the year, or we're revisiting support on like a multi-year kind of scale, and or it could be both. It's crossed with sideways rotational on a key support level on a one-year chart scale minimum, probably multi-year. We'll talk about the multi-year reading in more detail in the paid version. Behavior around the highest high, we have a notable decline off of the high standing out on a one-year chart scale. And the interesting thing about the Princess of Cups in the high correlator position is that it's indicating we see the high more than once, most likely. Either that, or we see the high again in the following year, but most likely we see the high more than once. It would follow suit with a lot of the other 2024 readings that I've done thus far. Behavior around the lowest low, we have a decline to and through support to be the second support. This is on a multi-day kind of scale. We bounce along that support sideways for a bit, and then we break down through more supports into the low. The high and the low for the year, the highest highs and the lowest lows for the year are within close time proximity to each other as well. That usually means within like 3 to 6 weeks of each other, usually, like, you know, either that or it's like a direct move from a low to a high with not much volatility or back and forth in between, or vice versa from high to a low. Before we go any further though, I'm going to make sure that everybody is aware the whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill, and we do that by donating 5% of the profits from each profitable trade utilizing this information forward to a charity. We have plenty of charities listed here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. Just click here and donate and help cure Alzheimer's or something like that. It's super easy. Look how easy this is. Boom, done. All right, and then 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel to help support the channel and say thank you, and also guarantee abundance mentality in oneself. That leaves you with 90% of the money. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, you keep your conscience clear. Another necessary component of manifesting wealth, that abundance mentality and a clear conscience, among other things. But with that said, guys, you'd be following all of those rules. You'll be following the rule of karma for the channel, which is the unwritten agreement between the universe and anybody utilizing this information for personal gain. It has no problem with you utilizing this for personal gain as long as you are simultaneously helping other people. If you fail to follow through on the helping other people part, the universe will shut you off from the flow of abundance through this channel. I'm warning you, it's not like a threat, it's a warning. Follow the rule or the universe will disallow you from utilizing this information. That's just how it is, my friends. So each card going across left to right here in the middle of each of these clusters of 4 cards, 2 in the middle, represent about 2 weeks of time. Not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 2 weeks of time. It's important to understand that. So we have to give the sequence of events the timing. We have to give about plus or minus 2 weeks of wiggle room in some cases. Some cases the reading won't need the wiggle room at all in a lot of cases. But in some cases we will need plus or minus 2 weeks of wiggle room. In those cases, make sure to follow the sequence of events of chart behavior as predicted, because the sequence of events will remain accurate, where the timing may vary at one moment, be a little bit off, and then come back to being on point. It never stays off for long. All right, so in early January, we have a notable move higher on a one-year chart. Erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level near the January high, and we'll be revisiting a crest that we recently met once before. It could be that we're revisiting crests from here at the end of 2023. And we have the high and the low within close time proximity to each other too. So erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level, like prominent high and a prominent low on a one-year chart scale, both within close time proximity to the January high. Behavior around the January low, we have a rally into a key resistance on a multi-day scale, and then we break down from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down, taking us into the low. And then it looks like there's an unexpected move higher out of the low in late January. Prominent move higher in early February through a key resistance on a one-year chart scale. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter with a full retracement. Prominent high on a one-year chart scale there in February, and a decline through multiple support levels off of that high. Behavior around the low of February, a notable rally standing out on a multi-day scale that will offer opportunity. I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. Unexpected move higher, even in the space of seemingly overwhelming headwinds or really scary technical chart behavior, and or both of them. There in the later part of February, out of the low. The February low looks to be like it's mid-February, and then we have like a peak at the beginning of February and a peak on the cusp of February, March. From that peak, I'm advised not to chase that rally there on the cusp of February, March, and in early March we have a decline to and through support to be the second support. We do some sideways rotation, sideways along that support, I should say, and behavior around the low for March. This another significant low on a one-year chart scale there in like maybe the end of the first or the beginning of the second week of March. Significant trade opportunity there, and we have an overbought crest that we sell off from through multiple support levels to reach the low. It looks like the March high and the March low might be within close time proximity to each other, and then there's probably another peak towards the very end of March, around the cusp of March, April, in the midst of a lot of price change out of the low back into a crest, and an important resistance level highlighted on a multi-day scale there with the base of sorts indicating a prominent peak as well. In early April, we have a pop and drop, sideways rotation along key support, and a pop and drop there in early April. The April high forms within a period of sideways bumping along resistance, maybe breaking through resistance and then bumping along resistance some more. That's near the April high. Behavior around the low, an important opportunity that'll stand out when looking back at 2024. The April low will stand out as an ultra significant opportunity, an improbable one at that. And the behavior in the later part of April is a lot of price change and volatility. Hard to say if it's bullish or bearish. Let's see. It looks like it's to the upside. but then turns downward around the cusp of April, May, or in early May. There should be a prominent peak in mid-May, it looks like. A decline in the early part of May that ends with a fast sudden move higher. The May high forms when out of a decline. We have a big move from the bottom of the range all the way to the top of the range. That's on a one-year chart kind of scale. Doesn't mean from the low of the one-year chart scale to the top of the one-year chart scale. It just means it's a relevant range on a one-year chart scale. Sometimes it's from top to the bottom, but in any case, we have both a peak, a May peak and a May trough within close time proximity to each other. The May low forms when we decline from a crest down to and through support, and then we do a U-shaped reversal below support, come back and reuse that as support behavior around the later part of May. We have a sideways rotation along key support, a big move higher, and then sideways rotation at a higher price level. As we exit out of May, we're declining, increasing with momentum, trough early in June. We're declining early in June. Prominent trough on a one-year chart scale, both in the earlier part of June and then in the later part of June. And I'll talk about the price levels in relation to each other in more detail in the paid version. Guys, if you're interested in the paid version, my God, you get so much information. It's so valuable for the amount that it costs. It's like ridiculous, okay? Nobody else has this information until after it's already come and gone. The only place you can get this information beforehand is here as the result of 23 years of trial and error figuring out system of pattern recognition. My friends, it works. You see it happen again and again. So the information that you get is not only the stuff you see us talking about now as far as the public version, but you also get the timing of the highs high and the lows low or lows for the year. You get the best trades that we see as far as timing and what to look for as far as entry and exit chart behavior for those trades. You get any trades that are relevant on a multi-year standpoint, and there's definitely a multi-year standpoint trade here. You get where the 2024 reading fits in terms of the 10-year reading. You get the overall performance of coin versus the S&P 500 throughout the year of 2024 as well. A lot of really valuable stuff only found here. If you're interested, matter of fact, let's take a look at the 2023 reading and see how we did. Okay, so we have this high here in January, February. It's like on the cusp of January, the beginning of February, right? We have this high here, push the upper end of a range higher. The January low offered a significant opportunity to open up a long position. You can see how that went. And the January high offered a significant opportunity to open up, to close that long position or open up open up a short position. So you would have made a ton of money right there, right off the bat. Would have made a ton of money utilizing the trades information from this coin reading. So that was our highest high thus far. We have that. We have another high in March. It ends up being March 24th. So we nailed that as well. It's almost the same high. And it looks like we missed this high in July. We do have a unicursal, and there's a really sharp drop from the July high, so we nailed that. It takes us into a significant trough, not a lowest low. We were off about that, but still a very significant trough. August, we have this August low forms when we have this decline from a key support level, and this is kind of like a fake out here. The devil card was the fake out card here at the high of July, because it looks like we broke out. It looks like we were going higher. So we turn around, we come back to that, down to those levels. In September, I have a high. It looks like it ends up being, it's a prominent peak, but I have it as a high, so that's a little off. That puts this reading in probably like, we also have like a highest high for the year here in November, and it looks like not only did we nail it, but we might have left a little on the table because we go higher in December. But in 2024, it looks like we go higher still. And that's exactly what it looks like happens in at least the early part of January. So this was a relatively solid reading. Even though we were off on one of the highs and one of the lows, we nailed pretty much all of the others. So you would have made a ton of money, even if you traded on that one little area where we were a little off. You still would have made a ton of money following this reading, guys. I mean, look, there's a trade opportunity here. There's a significant trade opportunity in early November at an important trough, and it takes us to a highest high, right? And be careful, there should be a retracement, it looks like, at some point. But in any case, this is super, super valuable information. The way that you get the paid version, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, hover over our services, click on SO Meta Posts, scroll down to 1 year report, click here to order, select the year that you're interested in the reading being done for. In this case, type in coin, but you could type in any ticker symbol or crypto that you're interested in. This is where you can have the channel cover any ticker or crypto symbol that you're interested in. Also commodities as well. And $2.49 for a year's worth of information. I mean, every day on the live, guys, every day on the live, on a trading day, every single trading day on a live, we're utilizing these 1 year readings for 2023. Most of them were made in 2022, still being used today with 100 accuracy in the high 90s, if not the 100 on most of them. All right, let's continue. Okay, so we're declining in early June to a prominent trough on a 1 year chart scale. There's a prominent peak and a prominent trough within close time proximity to the June low. And it looks like there's a trough in early June, and then there's a trough in late June with this like move higher, and then this full retracement of that move in the later part of June. A failed attempt at key resistance on already established key resistance near the June high, and a decline through key support there. In July, we're declining pretty notably into early July. And then we have really mixed behavior around the July low, equal amounts of bulls and bear inflow and outflow, and there's probably a fake out of some kind near the July low as well. Multiple failed attempts to break the key resistance in the later part of July, and the July high forms when we push the upper end of a range higher. Interesting. There's a peak on the cusp of July, August. Oh, also the July high is within close time proximity to both a prominent peak and prominent trough on a 1 year chart scale. Same thing in August, a prominent peak and a prominent trough on a 1 year chart scale. We have an important price level acting as resistance in early August. That'll be highlighted. There's a trade opportunity there. Price swings, usually bullish price swings around the August high, and a rally that increases with momentum moving forward out of August. The behavior around the August low, we have a peak that'll stand out on a 1 year chart scale that we sell off from pretty notably into a prominent trough on a 1 year chart scale there near the low. We probably see some sideways rotation along key support near that low as well. A lot of price change in early September at a key resistance level that's highlighted, and a prominent peak on a 1 year chart scale. Trade opportunity at that resistance in the early part of September. September high, it looks like mid-September. I'm advised to be cautious, probably multiple false tops there. And then a notable drop to a trough towards the later part of September. An important price level on a multi-year scale at the September low, and sideways rotation near the September low near the later part of September. trade opportunity on the cusp of September, October, at an important range that's highlighted on a multi-day scale, on a one-year chart scale probably. There's a prominent peak there. We attempt to establish support near the October high, and then there's a lot of price change taking us into the October low, which is a significant trade opportunity. A period of volatility in later October that ends with a fast sudden move higher. Fast sudden move higher takes us to a peak somewhere in early November that we sell off from pretty notably. There might be a peak right there on the cusp of October, November, but either that or in early November. We sell off pretty notably from it. The November low forms when we poke through the same trend line 3 times, or the same resistance line 3 times, and then break down pretty notably from that third poke. A trough towards the end of November with a period of sideways rotation that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then the November high forms when we have a rally along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. Both a prominent peak and a prominent trough in November, and they are within close time proximity to each other. Prominent peaks for the year on the cusp of November, December, or in early December. Brief peak that's easily missed there in early December, and advised not to chase a rally into a peak in early December because there's a decline from that brief peak through multiple support levels on a multi-day scale, taking us to an important support level on a multi-year scale as the December low. The December high forms when we successfully turn resistance into a new support, and that looks like it doesn't hold for long. The later part of December is a decline through multiple support levels that starts off when you're all overbought, crest, or peak. And then the sneak preview for 2025, we have a sideways fluctuating rally that precedes a decline. Guys, that's Coin for 2024. If you like this sort of stuff, please remember to subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel. And with that said, make sure to follow that rule of karma. The universe is counting on you. The channel is counting on you. I'm counting on you. Your own karma is counting on you. So you know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.